And not everybody's built for the things they're in. They think they are. I said, no. When that guy came to me, he said, blah, blah, that doesn't show me accountability. That's deflection. Accountability is key. That's insane. If I didn't get a shot, I wouldn't be here.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Stepping into this role, you knew there was going to be some challenges. We've talked about the transformation, initiatives that you worked on at ICE. I assume that was probably part of the plan and you joining at Acrisure. So as you navigate these competing priorities, growth, reliability, people, stakeholders, risk, how are you helping Acrisure navigate these increasing complexities that exist in business, technology, and those stakeholder expectations that are constantly evolving? How are you navigating that now?
Well, there's a mixed bag of all of it, but at the end of the day is just understanding optimal positions we're trying to do, right? We can't do it all, right?
Right.
So what are we trying to do? We're trying to mature. We're trying to bring a culture of, I'm not knocking what the culture was before. I'm not saying that, but it's a different when you try to combine everything, right? Everybody has to have the mindset of entrepreneurship and trying to get stuff done and go get it attitude and make sure, I'm saying, I've come in, and I have great people working for me. I was blessed that these guys were already there. I'm saying that they have some phenomenal tech stack and understanding people, whatever. But I bring a different, detail and color to it, right? I'm saying I make sure we are dotting the I's, crossing T's, and making sure the underlining is understanding, bringing customer service first. I'm saying we're not doing this as a favor. This is our job. You know what I'm saying? So that mentality is one. You got to change the mentality of people. So these impeding interests, I've always said, if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority.
That's right.
So you got to understand which of the projects you can't drop. And I tell people all the time, I don't expect you to be perfect. Let's just drop the small balls. Don't drop the big balls. There's a lot of, there's a lot of things. And it's my job to tell you, no, this is important, this is important, this is important. Let's double down on there. Let's make sure we have enough people there. Yeah, okay, cool. You can't do that? Not a problem. We'll figure it out. Let's put that aside. You know what? That's not important. Let's make sure we understand the risk. Let's talk to cyber. Let's talk to the business. Hey, do you guys accept the risk? Because at the end of the day, I think people take a stand like, well, this is my thing. And I said, no. This is our thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have to take the risk together. The risk people, the business people, and the understanding. So if we have a full understanding of the transformation we're trying to do, and we have priorities, I'm saying, let's try not to have impeding priorities, and understand what the goal is. Goal was to transform us, to bring us into one company. There's scattered stuff all across the board. Consolidate, whatever.
Yeah.
Stuff that I've been doing all my career.
Right.
Which I love.
Yeah.
Mark knew that. Mark knows this is my sauce. I like to go in there, build teams, dismantle. Let's pick and choose. Let's move people in the right position. I don't think anyone, again, there's people that are going to give you, the negative of attitudes of their president, but I think everyone wants to give their best. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure people are in the right positions, and not everybody's built for the things they're in. They think they are. I said, no. I said, you can't lead.
Get them in the right seat.
Yeah. I said, you're not a leader, dude. I know where you're in. You're a tech guy. And then I'll find some, wow, this girl's killing it. I said, what do you think about this girl? To leader. He goes, oh, she's awesome. I said, let's move her up. Let's make her a manager. Let's get her into the right position. And those are the things that I enjoy the most, is putting people in the right position and succeeding as a group. And when everyone buys into the priorities that we have, and I do, it's my job to make sure, you know what I'm saying? And I stay close to Mark, the business people, and the executive branch. But we all have to understand what the priorities are, you know what I'm saying? And everyone has to figure out, how do we get it done? But it's my job. Listen, engineering and technical, they're always going to do the job, right?
Right.
I got to make sure they got clear paths, right? They got their promotions, and people are thinking their promotions, they're happy. Again, that's what people are working
the
for.
defined path.
They're not here because they want to be here because Jose. Some of them are, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they want to get paid.
Right.
I mean, I understand it's a transaction.
Do a job, get paid a fair wage.
Yeah. But you don't have to make it miserable. You don't have to, make it like, this is your job. This is why you get, no, you can make it really a team-oriented philosophy. And I constantly tell people when it comes to priorities, listen, we could debate on decisions on what type of network or system or configuration or way path forward. But once we decide, we all get on board. There's no one going back. I don't have a runaround thing. So what I do see constantly when I take over teams is like, they think that we could debate all day. No, sir, we cannot debate all day. We're going to decide. If you can't decide, give me your 3 options, give me your best, tell me your one, and let me decide for you. And I'm okay with it because someone's going to own the risk.
That's right.
I'm paid to own the risk. Yeah. But at the end of the day,
you've got the oversight of the risk.
And it's my job to make sure it gets delivered. So I will take the risk. I will take it off. Because some people they're afraid. You know what I'm saying? So my job is not to allow them to be, come out. Tell me what's going on. Why do you think that? I said, you're worrying about it too much. We have this, and that. Let me walk you through it. I've
Mhm.
been doing it a while,
Yeah.
so it feels natural to me. And people are like, "Well, Jose," I said, "It's just been I've been doing M&As for a long time, and this is a big M&A thing that we're bringing together and
Mhm.
consolidating and understanding what. Yeah, you're gonna. This guy wants to do this, and this guy thinks is this. Okay, great. Give me the pros and cons." I said, "Well, we're gonna do this." I said, "Well, because it's cheaper."
Right.
This one, well, it's better. I'll pay the whatever $1,000 more or a couple hundred grand more
Mhm.
because it's XYZ. It's easy decisions. You know what I'm saying? We just
Yeah.
got to make them. You know what I'm saying? If there's budget, we'll get that one. If there's no budget, we'll do this. We'll
Yeah.
automate the hell out of it so we could actually, not make it so terrible for people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But there's ways to get around things. It's just, to me, comes back to it's troubleshooting. It's isolating issues.
Right.
It's depicting people in the right spot and then getting together and moving forward in one direction. I
Mhm.
think that's where a lot of people struggle, that we allow people to steer off the priority list. No, no, no,
Mm.
no. That's the goal. Don't talk to me about that, dude. Get this gun done, then we could talk about
Yeah.
it. And those are the things that I try to emphasize on the team.
How much of a role does data play then in those
Massive,
decisions?
massive.
Yeah.
So I'm a data guy. You told me you're a data guy.
Yeah.
So I can't understand anybody in technology that doesn't have a ticket. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just don't understand. Like, and then here's the beautiful thing. When
We
people
have one. It's homegrown and small. Don't judge us.
but it's fine. But it's fine. But at a group level, you know what I'm saying? I love when people tell me, "Oh, well, I'm busy." Okay, cool. Tell me what you're busy about. Let me see your tickets, whatever. And if you think I don't get into that weed, oh yeah, I get
Yeah.
into those weeds because that's the secret sauce.
It is.
Getting people out of their own way because they'll think they're busy. You're not busy. You're working on stuff that doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Let me show you. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, so what's your ticket queue? What's it look like? How many you get done? What's your SLA? Whatever. Those are the things that matter to me. What are your metrics? How are you measuring success for your team? That is data for us, and we constantly have to refresh that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have a phenomenal guy work for me on the operations side, Dougie, and big data guy, loves it
Mhm.
all day. To the point where I'm like, dude, enough. We need it. I need it. So
Over
my goal is
analysis.
get me to 80, bro.
Yeah.
The other 20 is really hard.
Yeah.
Let's get to 80.
Yeah.
80 is awesome. If I would have got 80s in high school, dude, I would have been like,
That's a B.
yeah, it's a big
I
baby.
mean,
You know what I'm saying? So
that's
I
a
wouldn't even sweat.
3.0.
So my point is get it 80. And once
Yeah.
you get to 80 or
Yeah.
everything, that 20, it's going to be probably not even something we're going to worry about. And people are
Yeah.
like, well, I understand. I'll take the responsibility on that.
Mhm.
Take the responsibility off their shoulders. That's the risk. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll start down the road. Oh, yeah, this is how, no, we're good here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a meticulous, operation of getting people to get in line with that. You know what I'm saying? So when I tell you it's data, yeah, 100% it's data.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Acrisure is predominantly cloud. So it's all database. Every month I could go if I leave something running. And
Yeah.
people don't understand the cloud is a autonomous system, but you could run up some numbers there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And ICE at the time when I took over a cloud team that at that time was ginormous. When we weren't ICE was predominantly data center, right? We're a trading company, so
Yeah.
we're colo, latency, nanoseconds type of environment. So cloud wasn't a thing, right? Now it's getting better, but when it first started, it was like not going to cloud. High latency, there's no customers are there. We got to
Yeah.
get them close to the trading. So, but with all the other businesses, we were able to expand to that.
Move them.
So we were spending like something ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And I went in there, I cut it down 30% because all I did, all right, let's do the math. Let's figure out who's turning this up. Let's create some controls. Let's make sure those are the things that actually gets the people on the page. This is how you win
Mhm.
by saving money
Yeah.
and people understand, oh, this guy knows what they're doing.
Mhm.
That's what happened. I had
Yeah.
a phenomenal guy. He's still over there at ICE. Phenomenal cloud guy. He just got it. And I'll take full credit on this one. He was just put on the side. And that dude is a killer. Yeah, he's a killer. Love the kid, smart, just
Mhm.
smart. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Understands it, talk all the time. You know what I'm saying? Lovely human being, lovely family. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's that's more like success is. People think, listen, IT is IT, technology is people. Yeah, people matter, dude.
They do.
And everybody thinks about automation and AI and whatever. I think we just need to breathe.
Yeah.
We've been through these things. I know people think it's not, but
Correct.
but at the end of the day, I remember a long time ago, around the mid-90s,
Yeah.
the dot-com boom, the
Oh,
internet,
yeah.
and everything. All these stores were going to shut down. No, that's a blue collar. There's a lot of blue collar people. And look, it turned around. AI could be a different thing. We work on AI. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And it's not there's definitely controls like with everything we do in life. We have to make sure we have
Mhm.
controls and frameworks and stuff like that. But I am not a doomer like that. I use
Yeah.
constant.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Same.
But at the end of the day, I get it, right? People are like, well, how do you do entry level? We have to have entry. That's insane to me.
Yes.
If I didn't get a shot, I wouldn't be here.
Correct.
If Mr. Schultz didn't give me a shot, Mr. Clark didn't give me a
Yeah.
shot, Chuck Ack, all these guys didn't give me a shot, I wouldn't be here. So
Yeah.
we have to find ways to make sure we give people shots and they have to buy into it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I'm not, prevalent on, how to get it always done. But at the end of the day, it's a learning curve. It's like parenting.
Yeah.
No one, if someone tells me, oh, yeah, read this parent, you're full of it, dude. I have 3 kids. None of them are the same.
No.
None of them. And I can't treat them the same. You have
It's the
the
same for your teams.
yeah, but you have the right foundation.
Yeah.
You show up on time, do your job, whatever, but everything else is different. You say,
Yeah.
yeah, I can have this guy work remote. The guy's a killer. All he does is wants to do that. There's some people that need to, no, let's keep you in the office.
Yeah.
There's positions.
Some oversight.
Yeah, not for oversight. There's positions that you need to be in the office, right?
Mhm.
Entry level, massive key to be in the office so they could take it here and get it almost
Absorb,
osmosis.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From the crowd.
Catch it.
Operations gotta be in the office.
Mhm.
You can't. You want something. Dude, something goes down. You want to hear, hey, what's going on? What do you got? Bring up the senior engineers. Get somebody from
Yeah.
networking. You say on the call. Those are the things that matter, right? There's a
Mhm.
lot of positions, so I'm a mixed bag there. I'm not 100% this. I'm a hybrid.
Yeah, the role defines
Always.
the
I'm a
necessity.
very hybrid guy. I've
Mhm.
been, the great thing I've had the luxury of working from home the couple past days. I like to be in the office, with the
Yeah,
boys and ducks,
me
whatever.
too.
But with the wife traveling, the boys, I got to move this stuff
Yeah, you
here.
got
And that's the
responsibility.
flexibility. If I have that, imagine someone else. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I have a little bit more means than a lot of people. So how about people that don't have that means? So why would I restrict them? Give them a little flexibility.
That's right.
Trust
Well,
them.
it goes a long way.
100%. And
Goes a long way.
people, through COVID, I remember it was on time. I felt guilty because I was not used to being home.
Yeah,
I was doing 7-7.
I was gonna say.
I was doing 7-7
Yeah.
every night. And I'm like, I was overdoing myself because I felt guilty. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not, no, that's what
You
have
didn't
to-
know where the line was to flip the switch to cut it off.
True story. So,
You hit on AI. I do want to ask you a couple
Sure,
questions
sure.
about that. It wouldn't be a tech
Yeah.
interview without the AI questions, but leading through this significant enterprise transformation, it puts you directly in the path of really every major AI conversation that's happening right now. So, from where you sit operationally, how is AI changing how enterprise transformation is delivered?
So there's different ways of thinking, right? So obviously, AI is a layer above automation
Mhm.
and machine learning that we've had for over 15, 20 years.
Right.
We've been doing that from jump, right? So I think the AI thing is you're just creating a bot, you know what I'm saying, to do these minuscule stuff that you don't have to do anymore. Administrative. There's some grinds, there's checking, there's stuff. Instead of having someone just do all those things manually and you get a repetitive, consistent push forward, right? So
Mhm.
in operations, that's key for me.
Right.
Okay? I'm like, guys, just stand something up, create up an MCP server, and probably talk to I don't
No,
know.
MCP got to
Okay.
connect
Yeah,
multiple systems
yeah.
via APIs.
So get that up, and make sure we're secure, right? And the key here for me is
Yeah.
come from a security background. That's the
Mhm.
beautiful thing I had. And what I've learned when you have a security minded person, those are the guys that get it everywhere else. Because
Right.
and I don't mean restrictive, like because there's people that
Just
take
governance.
yeah, governance, like understanding, like okay, we could do that. Because
Mhm.
here's what I never want to hear my team tell someone: no, we can't do that.
Never.
No, there's no. Let me get back to you. Let me figure some stuff out. Tell me your requirements and bring stuff out. So the transformation that we do at AI, in this thing. So remember with ICE trading when I first started, a lot of it, it was web ICE. They were trying to bring all the manual stuff electronically.
Mhm.
And that was successful. We went from the floors to a screen. And that's
Yeah.
ICE. That's literally a web ICE. You know what I'm saying? That's called web ICE,
Yeah.
the number one thing. So it's almost similar what we're doing in Acrisure because a lot of it's, a lot of paperwork, a lot of policies, whatever.
Mhm.
And they're just these dysfunctional systems, all desperate systems. So we're trying to combine it. And how do you do it? Well, you automate. You make policy different. You know what I'm saying? People are like doing policy checkers with like some, simple applications here. So you just try to build better systems quicker. And if you could get that to our customers, my customers are my employees.
Right.
Those are my first customers because they are taking care of the people that are bringing in the money. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So my point is you make sure they got the best tools saying and understand it. I holistically believe in that. We have a couple of platforms, Microsoft Premium, and then we have, Claude. Claude's a different beast. That's for development. People think, we could do a lot of stuff with Microsoft Copilot.
Yeah.
Right? And
We're using both here.
at the end of the day,
It's table stakes.
table stakes. It's easy, easy. But what you have to do is educate. You have to educate because here's the
Yes.
thing: what I
The
tell people,
training you talked about, change management and training.
Yeah,
Oh.
you have to figure stuff out because I tell people, I've always told, invest in yourself, and I'm going to be there every day.
Yeah.
If you're going to leave at 5 o'clock and not read a book, understand what's coming next, you're not going to be successful. It's just the same thing as like, Jose, how'd you lose all that weight? Well, I worked out after.
Mhm.
and I'd eat good. And you just gotta keep going. It's the same thing with work. You have to figure out what is the next game you're trying to figure.
Yeah.
I constantly and listen, it's tiring, yeah, but I love it. I love to know what's coming next. I love to know mythos and what's not and what's the next hardware at Blackwell, what's the next one coming from. Those
Right.
things to me excites me. You know what I'm saying? So if you
Yeah.
have that excitement,
Well, it's a passion,
it is a
and then
passion.
it's
So
fun,
yeah.
and it's not work.
It's
We
not
like
work.
we talked about.
It's not work, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you see my home network,
Yeah.
people will be shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have containers, I have a bunch of stuff. I like to be informed and understand it so I can make the decisions that are being made by my team and understand, "All right, that makes sense, but what have you think about this?" You know what I'm saying? Those are you have to be in that. If you're just a, leader that not tech I don't think that in this world right now, you can make business decisions and make it a
Mhm.
cost, but you have to understand the technology behind
Yeah.
the whole thing. And today, these days, I think there's so much information that you
Yeah.
could dump out. You know what I'm saying? You see a YouTube video, you could put it, crank it into one of the ad machines, and it spits out exactly the important stuff out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do that all the time. I got no time for a 30-minute video,
No.
but I have time to real read. Give me the bullets. And the
Uh-huh.
thing is, as you matriculate through all this and understand, it starts learning how you are and start
Mhm.
thinking. And people, but don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to talk to it. It's not like
It's not your friend.
it's not my friend. But my point is, it understands how I see things and thinks things and question and whatever.
Mhm.
And you could almost you could ask, and I
Personality,
tell people all the
persona.
time, ask the machine, how do I get better at doing AI governance or whatever? And it will spit out, well, you do this, but you're not asking these questions. Those are the things that people understand.
Yeah.
People are using like a fancy Google search. You're spending your money. You can't. You have to actually impede it to understand what you're trying to get
That's
to
right.
and figure out, hey, I got Rebecca finally to use Claude for financial stuff, right? Because she's always like, well, the finance can, and she's an accountant by trade, so
Yeah.
she understands that way better than me.
Yeah.
So I just say, tell me what you. So I put it out. She's like, you got to put it into the machine. Everyone's gonna know. I said, they know already, dude. I mean, what are we talking about? You say it's done. We sold that ship a long
That's
time ago.
3 years ago.
So make it easy for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And now she gets it. You know what I'm saying? She
Yeah.
gets it.
I love
But it's understanding. Like Trini, she did the trip to Europe. She did it all through. Give me research. This is what I want to do,
Yeah.
and just breaks it out. That's okay. You don't have to get. I know people are like, well, you're gonna lose someone else's job. No, I don't get it. Here's the thing: some people would not even try to do itinerary like that. So
That's
it gives
right.
people little different
Yeah.
advantages. So to come back with transformation, I'm a constant pushing, but it has to be educational. I'm always asked, Jose, do you have any documentation for this and that? I want to yell like internally, like, what do you mean? It's all out there. Just try, just
Right.
try. My brother, 11 years, 1 year younger than me, hits me up today and he wants to talk about financial stuff. And I said, hey, here's a YouTube video, how you install cloud. What do you ask? Here's the things you want to do. He's like, yeah, I don't know, AI, whatever. I said, listen, dude, you could be that old man yelling at the moon like Homer Simpson's dad, or you could get up to speed and instead of asking me questions because
Yeah.
you think I know them all, because
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not a financial.
I'll tell you where I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, this is the thing. And the questions you're asking,
Yeah.
it's out there.
Right.
This is the machine. You could pump your W-2 up there if you feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm like, I mean, it's out there anyway. Let's stop playing around. It's not, what are you worried about? That they're going to, who cares at that point?
Yeah.
I mean, what you could be private, and whatever, and you could redact a bunch of stuff, but use the systems for what they're supposed to be using.
Mhm.
I'm saying, but training for me and understanding
That's the key.
that's the key. It
Mhm.
has to be. We had a great
Well, and I think the governance that you hit on. So
yeah,
it's
but the
training.
governance comes
Yeah.
first. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a guy like, oh, let's just create, just let them go at it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that seems
Wild
insane.
West,
Yeah,
unregulated.
unregulated.
Yeah.
So what we want to make sure, and partnering with the Chucks Atkins of the world, the CISO is key, right? I've always had great relationships with any of my peers and stuff like that because I think that matters. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, but having someone that I know and trust, we know how to think, whatever. Like, no, he's not going to accept that. He'll want this. You know what I'm saying, he'll back over here. It's like, let's do it this way. Can we get this done, Jose, on this side? I was like, yeah, sure. Because we've had that, that's the
Been
easy
going on.
Yeah, it's the connective tissue. People hate saying that, me saying that,
Yeah.
but that's connective tissue that we understand. We have this
Well,
understanding. and
well, it
push
is because between that connective tissue is always an opportunity for bottleneck, a delay, or friction.
Yeah.
And the more that you remove that, the better.
And to say, hey guys, we are friends,
Yeah.
we're colleagues, and we work together. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And I love the man like a brother, but I will push back. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he has full right to push back on me as
Correct.
well. And I think that's the respect that we have each
You've
other.
got to have the autonomy to do that.
Of course.
right?
And at the
It's
end of the
key.
day, if he feels, what I'm saying, I'll say, no, we should do this and that. No, he's the security guy. That's the next thing out. But we're always going to hear each other out. And our teams have to be the same way. You
Yeah.
can't just like shut people out because security has no. That's an arm in the system that we have to work with. So
Mhm.
make sure the right and left are working together. or we're going to have two dysfunctional arms.
All right. So, last tech question.
Yeah.
As a CIO of an insurance company, you're sitting at the intersection of technology leadership and business strategy. When you think about workforce planning, where do you actually start? Is it the technology roadmap that's driving those talent decisions, or is it the other way around?
Always a technology decision. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
But let me reframe that. Yes and no. I think anyone can learn. You know what I'm saying? You got to find the right person. So I'll retract that. And I think what you're trying to say is, do you emphasize on the technology and hiring, or do you get the
Yes.
person, whatever? I feel I could put people anywhere if
Okay.
they're willing to do the job and they're capable. Listen, not everyone's IT, not
Mhm.
everyone's technologist, not
That's
everyone
right.
loves it. But once you figured out what they want to do, we could excel. If they're committed to it, we had people, at ICE, pray for coming. We had people coming from, we hired from a couple programs, Heads Up and Head Start camera.
Yeah.
One of the junior guys that we hired came IT, ran up, did monitoring. Then I moved, and then he said, "Hey, I want to become a developer." And I've been going to classes. You didn't have to go to class, but he's like, "I'm about to graduate from a computer science degree." I said, "Really?" I said, "Awesome." And I know he was doing Python in the monitoring,
Mhm.
whatever. And I said, "Great." And I had my head of infrastructure development. Hey, what do you think about Alejandro? He goes, "I'll take him tomorrow." Because the drive and the constant questions, or whatever. Now he's a senior developer. So
Wow.
yeah, I think people matter. I think technology is always going to change, right? You know what
It's
I'm saying?
constant.
Constant, right? So you can't keep thinking about technology with people. Get the people to fit the right position. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, and I think the movement that we are able to do and
Mhm.
see the lack and understand, yeah, that person's not right for that position,
Yeah.
or he's not committed, or he doesn't get it, whatever. I think, and then train them. And
Mm.
at the end of the day, but also in this day and age, I don't want to, let's emphasize this. All the information out there. There's no way you can't understand Azure and AWS and GD. You could do that tomorrow if
Yeah.
you cared to do it. So
Mhm.
my point is, don't come to me expecting your career. You know what I'm saying? People always like, say, I want career advice. I say, cool. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
And how committed are you? Because at the same time, I'll make time for anyone. Saying I call people, I make sure they're good. How's this going? What are you trying to do next? I'm happy to do that. I think it's one of my joys in life is to see people succeed where they thought they couldn't succeed, and they come back. You go, holy Jose!
Yeah.
I have one of my good friends lives in California now, but he was he is one of the smartest individuals I've ever met. Double masters, Georgia Tech, like
Mhm.
just gets it, right? You know what I'm saying? Never had the confidence. Like, and this kid was coming in, I'm like, dude, you're a killer, bro. Let's get you going. And from there, we worked at ICE for a while, and he opened up a couple companies. I was a CISO of some other company. And,
Wow.
and those are the things that
He needed
makes
the confidence,
he
though.
just needs that. Like, dude, what are you talking about,
Yeah.
dude? This is all you need. Get into it. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't an easy role because, he'll come in and he's like, all right, I need you in from 7. He's like, yeah, I'm not really good in the morning. I said, I don't care. You're an adult. Get in. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? What I expect is coming on time, making an effort, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
don't give me, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, about the silliest stuff. And he was a great example of your personal life, you know what I'm saying? So that was when we acquired New York Stock Exchange. I'll go on a tangent here real
Yeah.
quick, but this is when we acquired New York Stock Exchange, and he was working there. Him and this other kid that we became really good friends, Mamadou. And I found these guys, and they were killing it. They were doing a lot of work,
Mhm.
groundwork, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I moved them down. I moved them down to ICE, and I didn't realize at the time the young man Roshan was he was had a serious girlfriend. He was engaged. Didn't know. But at the time, he was struggling, you know what I'm saying? There was, far away, whatever,
Mhm.
and he wasn't, connecting, whatever. And I realized, like, "Hey, dude, what's going on, dude?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, yeah." I said, "All right, cool. Pack your shit, get back to New York, work out of the New York office. I got a couple things I need you to do over there," you know what I'm saying? And,
Mhm.
to this day, that New York Stock Exchange data, the floor still talks about Roshan, what he did when he got there, that
Wow.
he was just there, committed, whatever, because he was happy, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it didn't work out, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And he came back, 2 months later, he came back to ICE. The engagement broke off, whatever. He's now married with a beautiful daughter
Yeah.
in California, and we talk all the time. And,
Mhm.
and he takes a lot of what I've taught him in understanding of leadership. And hey, dude, pay attention to people,
Yeah.
understand that people are having struggles. I think as a leader, your mom, dad, psychiatrist, doctor, philosopher, it's a constant battle of understanding what people want. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And once you do that, it's good. I mean, one of the worst advice I ever got is don't get close to your employees.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Worst advice I get, because you
Yeah.
got to make tough decisions that, you don't want. And I say that's incorrect, because I'm going to make tough decisions because it's the right thing to do. I've fired people,
Mhm.
that I genuinely liked,
Yeah.
but I told them this is not working out for us, bro.
Mhm.
And I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what I could do. And I found them other jobs. That's my job to help them out the thing. And
Right.
I actually bumped into one guy that, as I was dropping my son off his GHP this weekend,
Mhm.
he calls me out. I'm like, oh. I said, "Man, this guy really is familiar." He goes, "Yeah, yeah." And I said, "Yeah, it really sucks how all that worked out." You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
he goes, "Yeah, dude, I was just in a bad spot." And he's like, "But it's good." You know what I'm saying? So we just talking about our kids or whatever. And,
Yeah.
it was a good thing. He's like, "Yeah, hopefully we'll see each other in Parents Week." I said, "Yeah, yeah, we'll have a beer."
Uh-huh.
And so it's how you
That's
treat
what
people.
we call this the cost associated with leadership, where you have to make tough decisions about
Yeah,
people
of
that you know
course.
and care about.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't get a chance to defend yourself on those decisions.
I don't,
And you don't need to,
yeah.
but you don't get to. And then no matter how much we try to do the best for the most, still not ever going to make everybody
You're not,
happy.
but in life, you're not going to make everybody happy. You think we make a decision at home, all four people are happy? No, of
No.
course not. So it's okay. The
Yeah.
thing is, it's a give and take, I think.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you just a quick question about using outside partners for staffing and your hiring needs. Specifically, working in insurance heavily regulated industry, what separates a firm that actually understands your world from one that's just filling seats?
Massively. I'm saying it does. So interesting enough, at ICE, we were not big contingent workers.
Yeah,
We
with
just
a lot of
yeah,
perm,
lot,
direct hire,
yeah, we felt that you
big
basically big in
in-house.
house. I'm saying,
Yeah.
and it's weird that I come to Acrisure and it's more contingent workers because of the way the business is. I'm saying we have a good couple partners that understand the insurance business,
Yeah.
and that matters to me. But at the end of the day, on my side, more the CTO probably, my peer PTO, he'd probably have to get people more understanding in the insurance because he's managing the
Yeah.
applications. I'm bringing technology that it's off the shelf. I'm
Right.
saying, and let's begin. So I could swivel left and right. I'm saying,
Mhm.
but when we found a phenomenal individual
Huh.
in the UK to run our head over there, he's probably one of my top hires
Mhm.
because he knows technology, he knows the business,
Yeah.
and he just talks like and figures that stuff out
You plugged him right in.
right in, and he's
Yeah.
running, you know what I'm saying? And we're
Right.
just like, "Oh."
Yeah.
So
That's the value
that is
then.
the value there, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? You're not gonna find all like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not, you're never gonna find someone I'll say he's a unicorn,
Unicorn. Yeah.
100%. So when we start thinking about, our positions, it's really, we try to get some people and don't get me wrong, I manage the system operations where I have to have specific applications that
Mhm.
people know that. So those definitely key.
With that pre-existing experience.
Yeah, I'm saying the
Yeah.
other quarters is just, right off the box, Microsoft, Azure,
Yeah.
SharePoint, anything in that.
The M365 tech stack.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that type of stuff. I mean, we have some flavors on there, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But what I do challenge people is understand the business process.
Mm.
I didn't know trading until I started working at ICE. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know trading, not at where I'm going to be a trader or whatever, but I understand the connectivity from one trade to clearing to get it and what happens
Yeah.
if it doesn't, if we're not able to clear that.
The workflow
The
of
workflow,
trading.
that is
Yeah.
massive, you know what I'm saying? And you could do that, and we did a phenomenal job at our previous company, bringing our people in, explaining, showing them a map, this is how it
Mhm.
connects, this is a pack comes in, this is
Yeah.
how it gets out, this is where that matters because everything matters in latency work, saying so understanding how it works and fundamentally, yes, it'd be awesome, but you can't. There's so many
Right.
there's so much stuff. I would get again, I'll take cause over effect when it comes to finding someone that's really smart and young and I could train them.
Right.
I think that's massive.
Yeah, we've talked about this before where you would prefer to take a chance on entry level, 1 to 2 years versus
I want
somebody who is 8 to 10 years and thinks they know it all. And
Rob. I'm trying to find the next Rob.
that's right.
I want to find the next Rob. I want to find the next Jose.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the next guy that buys into the system. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not a system of thing. Like I said, I don't believe culture, corporate America is family. You know what I'm saying? I think it's teams
It
work. You know what I'm
is.
saying? Because at the end of the day, we're able to pick our teams.
Yeah.
I think I told you
Yeah.
that. But
We don't pick those
we
families.
can't pick our families, but we could pick our teams. And they pick us, right? And they could get up and go whenever they want.
Yeah.
So I think that's massive.
So one of our themes here, and really it's become our motto at Tier 4 Group, is we talk about being uncommon on purpose. When you hear that phrase, what does it mean to you as a leader?
I think my path to here is uncommon.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree 1,000% with that.
And I hear that all the time. I'm
Mhm.
saying I didn't understand it till I left ICE.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Everybody's just giving me kudos while I was there because I'm the boss, whatever. But me leaving was massive. And I
Mhm.
saw the impact that you have in people's lives. You make people richer,
Mhm.
happier, get them in the right position. They're happy to come to work.
Mhm.
That matters to people.
It does.
It should matter because when you have a workforce that is happy to be here and doing the right things by the job, I think it's a massive thing. So when you say uncommon, I didn't believe, Robert, I honestly, and I'm not saying it cliche and I'm not trying to, I didn't believe it was a special sauce, I'm saying, but my path from where I started, it's different. And I tell my kids all the time, Don't worry where you're at right now.
Yeah, where are you
Where are
going?
you going? Just understand what are your priorities. Don't worry about this other kid's doing this, whatever. That is never because at the same time, I'm sitting around people with double masters
Yeah.
or bachelors, whatever. I don't have anything. You out hustle.
No, you got that auto tech
Yeah,
certificate,
yeah, yeah.
man.
And the tech, the ITT one, you say, I got those two certificates. You say, and I was proud of putting those things
Yeah,
on my resume.
frame those.
Yeah.
Those need to be hanging up in the home office.
You know, my wife will tell you, she goes, you won't even change oil chair. I said, yeah, no, I'm not. It's too hard. I said, I don't even have a lift.
Well,
I
they're
said,
rolling computers
yeah,
these
yeah, yeah.
days anyway. No, I think you nailed it. Your path is uncommon, but I look at it, it's a lot of intentional steps along the way that made that on purpose.
Because of the people in front of me.
Correct.
They helped me.
And we've talked a lot on this podcast about the concept of sponsorship versus mentorship. And when you've talked about listen to the people that are investing in you, those are sponsors. That's sponsorship. And you've listed 5 to 6 different sponsors that you've had along your career. I could do the same. That's why I'm in the seat that I'm in. That's why you're in the seat that you're in. But I think the beauty of it is you talked about giving back, mentoring almost 200. You probably sponsored of that 200, probably 30 or 40. And, rattling off the seats that each of these individuals now are sitting in. That's leaving the industry better than you found it, or leaving your organization or your environment better than you found it. And at the end of the day, that is really, to me, uncommon on purpose.
Yeah. I left ICE because he came in and, he came in from UK and took over the group. Dude, smart. And when I was putting in and, he said really great words. I mean, phenomenal words on my way out.
Yeah.
And he goes, hey, listen, I want to give you props for making me successful. I said, well, that was my intention. He goes, but you were intentional. I made sure that he knew what he has to do and who the guys were coming up next, make sure that we're making right decisions. These are the guys that you have to do. So I think that is a true statement about the sponsorship. But at the end of the day, when you leave, I didn't realize until I left what impact I had.
Yeah.
And to this day, people say, not the same. I said, it's fine. Life changes.
And it shouldn't be.
And here goes what I tell people. I said, be the next one, dude.
Correct.
Be the guy. If you feel that I was doing something so not ordinary or not
Unordinary,
common, not common for that level,
uncommon.
be that guy.
Yeah.
Or women. What are we doing? I tell people all the time, stop.
Yeah.
You're just as good as I am. Just as good. I had, people say, Jose, you have something. Yes, but it's all trainable because if you feel that I was different and I treated you and said, just be that person.
Yeah.
You could. Listen, I don't think people could change in reference to, being optimist to a pessimist that, it's in the blood.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm a realist. I'm not
Right.
optimist. I'm not.
Yeah.
It's just facts. I like data. It's just facts. I'm not trying to be, a pessimist. I'm not trying to be an optimist. I'm just like, this is the thing is. So I tell people all the time, if you felt this way is the right way, well, then do it that way. But you have to be intentional in your way and make sure you're making the right decisions. And it's constant. It's constant. I was constantly in their face when it came to hiring. I wanted to hire the right person, at the right time. And I made sure I interviewed. I was a little bit overbearing when it came to interview because I think team matters. I'm saying toxicity in a team is destroying morale and culture. So I constantly say, hey, guys, I said, stop.
Yeah.
Let's move on this guy. We've given him a shot. It's time to move on. It's okay.
It is.
And it's okay because at the same time, you're doing that guy a favor. To circle that one up, at ICE, I hired this guy. I was hiring this guy and I had something in my gut. I knew, Rob, I shouldn't have hired him. And I told my boss at the time, I was in the CISO. I said, hey, why don't you interview this guy? And I love my previous CISO. It wasn't Chuck. But he's like, oh, yeah, he's fine. He's smart, right? And I'm like, that's not, I should have said, when you say, oh, he's all right, but he's smart, those don't, you could be smart. You could be phenomenally smart. You say, I don't need the smartest person. I need someone, trainable, adaptable, and wants to actually
adaptability, AQ.
You know what I'm saying? So there's a very difference, you know what I'm saying? So against my own thinking in my gut, because I, you know what I'm saying? Because I even told, the Mamadou's and Roshan's, I said, this guy's there's something odd with this one, right?
Yeah.
So long story short, comes from a recruiter, right?
Yeah.
So he comes in and we talked to him and said, all right, cool. At the time I was running the whole engineering group in cyber. And I said, yeah, well, you're going to come in from, in the morning to get trained 7 to thing. He's like, oh yeah, I interviewed. I said, yeah, we'll go to the second shift, but 10 to 6. But right now we need you in the morning because that's where the training
This
is.
is the onboarding.
This is onboarding
training.
for a couple of weeks. Let's get this thing. He's like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? So he comes on board, right? First day is like on time. So, then lunch takes an hour. half an hour, and it just gets worse. You know what I'm saying? Progressive.
Yeah.
The first week. And I tell him I had a conversation, and it was just gotten worse. And I
Yeah.
was having a conversation on right before Wednesday or Thursday. And I just sat him down. I said, dude, what's going on? He's like, yeah, but I told you, no, 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 you didn't tell me anything. I told you this is the training program. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And if you can't get on, he's like, oh, he got offensive. He's like, I don't know why you talking to me like that. I said, I'm not talking to you like anything. I'm telling you, this is how it is. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And this is what we need you to do. If you
Yeah.
can't feel that, it's okay. I've always told people, ice is not for everyone.
No.
And I tell them, Akish is not for everyone because I have a different mindset here.
Right.
So he came around
And it's okay if it isn't a fit for you.
yeah. Came around and Friday, one of my guys that comes up in the morning, he goes, hey, I think he's going to put his notice in. I said, good, because I sent an email to Charlie the night before. Let's get this guy out of here. Because when you have a confrontation where I'm trying to tell you, this is how we're going to do, and you're going to get pissy about it, like, no, I'm like, no, we agreed this is what you're going to do. You're a human being. You're an adult.
Yeah.
I'm saying, I'm not here to babysit you, whatever. Your parents did do. That's not my job. I will help you if you're willing to help yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I came in. He's like, hey, Jose, I don't think this is fair. I said, yeah, all right. Hey, bro, no problem.
Better to be a week than a month. Or
Yeah,
a year.
100%. Hey, no problem, bro. He's like, yeah, let me work the next 2 weeks. I said, no, it's okay. He goes, I don't want to burn bridges. I said, dude, you blew it up.
Yeah.
I said, you'll never work here.
That was on Wednesday.
And that's not a negative towards you.
Yeah.
It's just this place is not always right for
Not-
everybody. And I hope you understand that, right?
Yeah.
Hour later, the recruiter calls me.
Mhm.
She's like, hey, well, Chris, they just called me or whatever. And I said, yeah. She's like, hey, do you mind if I come in? I said, yeah, sure, come in. I said, you should probably cut him off your list. I have no problem saying that. They came in and he goes, you're not going to believe this. And I go, what? He goes, he called me and asked me if I could get into the shot. I said, no, the shot, what? At the position, because he might, I said, no, we're good. Now make those decisions right away.
Yeah.
Because when it's your
And don't back off.
don't back off.
Right.
I'm saying don't give that, because at the same time, that's not going to fly.
No.
It's not going to fly for everybody else. I'm
Just
keeping everybody, remember, can't treat everybody the same, but foundational, come on time, do your job, do what you're supposed to be doing. That's it. Nothing to do differently there.
All right. As we wrap up, we've got our top tier questions. So these are our rapid fires. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. What's your walkout song?
Yes, I did it my way.
I did it my way. Love it. I love it. All right. Window or aisle?
Aisle.
Always.
Always aisle.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Night owl.
Same. Hire for potential or experience?
There we go. Potential.
I think you already answered this one, but I'm going to ask you anyway. In person or remote? We probably need to add hybrid.
I think hybrid's a
that
key there.
one.
Yeah. It can't be full. I think hybrids gives that flexibility.
Yeah.
Not everybody. It depends on the position.
Yeah.
But I've hired some people that full remote because I trust them holistically.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. What instantly earns your trust in someone?
Accountability. When that guy came to me, he said, blah, blah, that doesn't show me accountability.
Yeah. That's deflection.
That's the deflection.
Mm-hmm.
Accountability is key. When you raise your hand and say, yeah, I screwed up.
Yeah.
I got you, baby. Let me hold your hand, because at the same time, we're all going to screw up. Raise your hand when that happens, though.
Yeah. Favorite way to spend a Saturday?
Family.
A book, podcast, or idea that changed how you lead?
I don't think it changed realistically, but it reaffirmed my stake in it. It's called Extreme Ownership
Extreme Ownership.
by Jacko.
Okay.
It's a Navy SEAL book.
Yeah.
Awesome book. It was a precursor about 10, 15 years ago. It's Navy Way, it was called. I read that one too, but it's similar. It's just accountability is leading from the front and make sure you have a team perspective. You know what I'm saying? And there's a new book that I can't remember what his name was. I don't want to mess his name up, but it was general. It's Teams of Teams.
Teams of Teams.
Teams of Teams.
Okay.
And that just reaffirms how I believe in the culture. It's all culture and keeping everybody accountable and making sure you're doing the right job. So that guy on the right, think about the stress the Navy SEALs go into a situation. You know what I'm saying? And they got to trust that guy holistically that he's going to do the right decision. So.
Personal advisory board from anyone past or present. What 3 people would you have on?
Mr. Clark, Mr. Schultz,
All right.
and my mom.
All right. I love it. Let's see. What's underrated?
What's underrated? That's good. Underrated. Empathy.
Empathy. Yeah. And that's the key attribute for leadership.
Yeah.
And then it's a struggle.
It is.
And I think we talked about maturity. It comes over time.
It does.
I think some people already have it in them. It's innate. But for those of us that needed to mature a little bit, it comes with time.
But I think that is underrated.
Yeah, I would agree. All right. If someone is listening today trying to reach their own next tier, what would you tell them?
Well, I said it a couple times. again, my path is very different from everybody else's,
Yeah.
and I'm not here to think everyone's success is different. You know what I'm saying? It's either money, title, whatever, or it's freedom, or it's family time, whatever. So my point is make it intentional. Like
Yeah.
if you want to get to the next step, don't assume it's going to be there. You know what I'm saying? Make intentional decisions at work. Hey, what can I do different? I'm not telling you to work 80 hours a week. I will not emphasize that because I believe
Or
we're
120 that you were doing at
yeah,
one.
yeah. But my point is, those are not I don't condone that for anyone.
Yeah.
Saying but there's some people that could do it because you enjoy it, whatever. But my point is make intentional decisions. Like if you want to get to X, well, put in some time in there, figure it out, create a system, build culture, build an understanding. You know what I'm saying? Trust the other person, mentor people,
Yeah.
be mentored, ask for mentorship. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things in life that you could actually change. And I know I go back to the weight loss thing, but those are intentional decisions. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I want to lose weight and I want to keep my cholesterol down. I want to be around here and walk my daughter down the aisle and be there for my boys when they
Yeah.
have kids or whatever. And those are the things I want to do. And hang out to my wife till the last day of my breath. You know what I'm saying that's
Yeah.
intentional. So I try to do right by that. I eat yogurt and granola and stuff that I would never.
Yeah.
I got to put a little maple syrup or honey to kill that
Uh,
yogurt taste. But
yeah.
I think those are intentional things that I care about. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So when it comes to that, make intentional decisions about your career. You also write them down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Understand that. You know what I'm saying? I think my next path is, very different from everybody else's, but it's the same building block. Jose, what does success look like at ICE? Dude, I gave in. You know what I'm saying? And I listened to people
Yeah.
around me. I know there's someone around you telling you what to do, right? Or whatever. There's always one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're just not listening. And the guy or the lady just gave up. So make sure you're open to that change. And it's work. It's not going to happen because you just want it to happen. You got to be willing to put in the work. Again, I'm not telling you to kill yourself. I would never tell people what I was doing. I'm saying because it was something. But at the end of the day, is I think you have to be intentional on the decisions you make. There's not one. Everyone wants to say, "Oh, that's why there's like 1,000, success books out there,
That's right.
100,000." You know what I'm saying
A
because
lot.
everyone says like, "Jose, you should write a book now." You know what I'm saying because
Yeah.
no, I wouldn't because my path is very different from everybody else.
Yeah.
Make sure you're being intentional of the goals that you want in your life.
Yeah.
Write them down. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife, about 15 years ago or 10 years ago, we decided we wanted to be a little bit more stable financially, whatever. Now we budget and
Yeah.
we constantly talk and it's
Have
annoying
to.
and it's scary in the beginning when you're like, how much am I spending on Amazon? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying it's scary, but it was intentional that we decided to open up our, thing.
Yeah.
And
Communicate.
communication is massive in a marriage, right? Massive. Like we talk all the time. It's sometimes like, saying she knows everything. Like, and I was shocked that she didn't know about the stuff I was talking about Schultz because at the end of the day, that was past, it was before her.
Yeah.
So it was just like, yeah, whatever. So it was
Yeah.
awesome that I explained to her. And I gave her the script that I wrote up about the whole thing. And while she was away and she was like, this is awesome, babe. And I said,
Yeah.
I know. I just can't believe I didn't tell her. She was like, yeah, I mean, you tell me stuff I don't want to know. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, I think that's the key for it. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the communication and the intention of what we wanted. And before I move to a personal question here, personal answer here, I was doing all the books, and I was terrible at it, dude.
Yeah.
Rob. Terrible. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh yeah, I don't have money. When we first moved down here, she's like, oh, I really want to get this. Back then, 55-inch screen was like $3,500, right?
What?
Now you can get it for $500,
Yeah.
right? So I was like, yeah. She's like, you don't have it, So I was like, no, I'm, got the house and we got this and whatever. And she's like, how's that possible? So we decided. I was like, hey, this is your thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't have you fixing anything in the house for IT and
Yeah.
home DIY. This is my thing. Why don't we let you run it? You know what I'm saying? And that was her decision. And I said, yeah, let's do that. And sure as shit, she came back and she says, you spend like $70 to $80 a month on this, and you're spending $300 on late fees. And this. She said, you could have had 4 TVs this year. You know what I'm saying? Not this year, in the past. You know what I'm saying? So that's an eye opener. Listen, it's scary to be open.
It is.
It is. But once you give that up at work and in your life, in your personal relationship, man, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, that is, wow, such a strong point and so true.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thanks for coming on. I know this was a little out of your comfort zone, and gosh, the time has just flown by, like well over an hour. We've been chopping it up,
Yeah.
and your story arc is incredible. The career path that you've been on. I've known you a long time, and you've always had this like vibe to you. And I think that's why people are drawn to you. Is it's a vibe that you have, and that vibe is a mindset. And it's look at you as someone who's always constantly looking forward and where we're going. And you're not as concerned about where we've been. We want to learn from where we've been, but the bigger thing is where we're going and getting the right people in the right seats to get us there, I think is something that just really resonates with me through this conversation
Shit.
and how, our paths aren't defined, but the steps that we take to get there and the impact that we make on others is part of that path.
My vibe, I think, I appreciate the nice kind words. I think you're a pretty good human being yourself and your wife as well. My vibe is we got one run through this.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's it.
We woke up today.
That's it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not downing religion, whatever,
Yeah.
any religion, you know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. Nothing's guaranteed.
No,
Rob, this is the last conversation I could have with you.
it is.
So I want to make it impactful
That's right.
for me and you.
That's
I want you to leave like, damn, that
Yeah.
was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because when I tell people, hey, how's your day? I said 6 feet above ground, baby.
That's right.
I mean, if you have that mentality,
Yeah.
you keep going,
Yeah.
it's going to be all right. And listen, don't get me wrong. There's some days like, damn, this sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is going to grind, whatever. But it's a beautiful thing to be alive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's people that are not at my age. I just lost a good friend
Oh, yeah.
a month ago. He was 50,
Yeah.
colon cancer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? One of the best human beings, funniest freaking, this guy could imitate anyone.
Yeah.
His name was Tito Torres. One
Yeah.
of the best human beings in his life. You know what I'm saying? Gone.
Gone. My beautiful mother, who has fought tons of health issues, she has this saying, and I think this will really resonate with you. And it's, today is a beautiful day because I got up and I get to put one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
And it's just being grounded in that and being grateful for that.
Grateful. Gratefulness, I think, is the key. And I'm grateful for this opportunity. This is not my
No, I know it's not.
This is not my thing. People be shocked, like, well, not. You could talk all day, Jose, but I don't.
You can.
I don't.
And I can too.
I don't think my journey is this thing. I just think I was
Well-
intentional in my decisions, and I think, like you said, I'm moving forward. My past does not refrain what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I had it wasn't the prettiest, but my mom and my people around me made it enjoyable.
Yeah, you had people in your life that got you there. And I think your story should resonate with young people out there trying to understand the direction that they're heading and that it always isn't clearly defined.
It never is.
And that it takes selling leather coats, and
Everything, bro.
being
Everything.
a mechanic. to
I even
work
sold,
your way up.
made baked potatoes at the same place there. It's different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, don't think that this is what you're doing.
That's right.
Is your future. Make it intentional. Do what you want to do.
That's right.
Travel.
That's
Figure it
right.
out. You know what I'm saying? Scrape by. My daughter's backpacking. She doesn't have to, but she's backpacking
Yeah,
right now
yeah.
because she wants to enjoy her life and
Living life.
live it. And here's the thing. My joy is that she's able to do that because
Yeah, you get to live through that.
Yeah.
No, that's right. And I think that's a perfect wrap because we've talked about it a lot, but success is not accidental, is uncommon, and it's on purpose.
leave that with that.
Thanks, Jose.
Thank you, Rob.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Next Tier. Be sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next time.